resistance. When I begin to listen, trust my intuition, I feel different. So I let go, gave up my control, jumped into the great unknown. I let go, hear the chapters close. Now I'm gonna turn my let to go.
Hello, all. Welcome back. That felt like the perfect song to welcome us into the space today. We are master alchemists, are we not? Not to mention golden hour. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've got my sunflower earrings on. And if you've participated in any other of these activations, this is the exact outfit I have worn every year for this exact source codex. Because what are we talking about today? Today, we're talking about I am omniscient, all-knowing light. Omniscient, all-knowing light. You guys, my loves, there is a vast intelligence within each and every one of you. One that knows, sees, and understands beyond the limits of your mind. But most people have disconnected from this infinite wisdom and are living trapped in uncertainty, fear, and smallness. And today we are going to reclaim that innate divine knowing. That innate divine knowing. Because you guys, what I have learned and noticed and recognized is I don't know, that place of I don't know and uncertainty and what are the next steps? I don't know what to do. That's often the place where dreams go to die. We've got these massive dreams, these things that we want to experience in this lifetime. And yet we allow that frequency, this pervading belief that we don't know the next steps. We don't know the answers. We don't know what to do. We don't know what to create. Hold us back, keep us in non-action. And so my prayer is today, we are going to go deeper into the codex of and the polarity of confusion and uncertainty. And we're also going to talk a little bit about light. We've got a lot to talk about today. A lot of really good information. I'm really excited about today. Today, this talk last year was the most watched of all of the sessions. And I really do believe it's because so many of us have that feeling of uncertainty, the confusion, the I don't know energy, the self-doubt, doubt in self, the lack of trust in self, the lack of trust in our intuition, our own internal compass, our own divine guidance. And so my prayer is that today we can regain that confidence and trust. And I'm actually going to guide you guys through one of my favorite, most simple practices, which is learning your internal yes and your internal no. Your body, the quantum computing technology that you are, is always communicating to you. Unfortunately, the mind is really loud. The ego is really loud. Our intuition, God, the divine, and the way it speaks to you and is consistently guiding you, it whispers. It whispers and it communicates to you through emotions and body sensations. But again, if we're in our mind, we're not present in the body. So today I'm going to guide us through this incredible practice so that you can learn what your internal yes and no feels like. And then the embodiment ritual for the day is really exciting because you're going to practice that. You're going to practice your internal yes and no so you can get really clear on what that feels like and looks like. So when you are in a state of uncertainty or self-doubt or confusion around what choice or action to make, and because there's a lot of fear, right, around making the wrong choice. Well, if I decide, then I'm not going to be able to do that. So if you, like me, this was me so many years ago, struggle making choices, making decisions, then this practice will be really valuable for you. Because when I decided a couple of years ago to shift from being the one in charge, trying to control the outcomes of my life, trying to figure it all out in my mind, to being led and guided by spirit, by my own spirit, my own higher self. That is when everything changed for me. And I learned this tool. And so I don't make any decisions, small or big. Well, small ones, I can feel it in my body. so quickly, but big decisions, I always create a sacred space, sacred container, and I do this practice to tune in and ask myself and ask God, ask the divine to guide me to what is in the highest alignment for me. So I'm excited to share this practice with you guys. I'm excited to share this information with you. We'll undergo an alchemical practice as well to help clear some of that uncertainty, confusion, self doubt, some of the even uncertainty around your own intuition and your own internal guidance. So, so happy to have you all here. Thank you for being here, guys. Stephen says, my body still doesn't seem to know the difference in given names between, okay, Osiris, Thoth, and Current. Interesting. You're going to have to tell me more about what you mean by that. You're going to have to tell me more than what you mean by that. Our body is really intelligent, you guys. It really is. So yeah, go ahead. Okay. You just
it's just like being stuck in the past shadow work of that and not knowing how to, I guess, interact with people, because I've been mostly isolated in meditation, like before getting into or having access to have some of these programs and more conscious ways of creating.
Yeah. So I think what I hear you say is that what I'm feeling also too is that perhaps there might be a little bit of a disconnection from your own internal body awareness, and maybe that there is a clear discernment, but maybe there's some stuff there, uncertainty, self-doubt, some things that are blocking you from fully accessing that the full capacity of your knowing. Does that feel?
Yeah, that's true. I just typed in that about like the kind of selective autism of how I've been able to have capacity to be able to communicate in a way that's understandable and not like cause past soul family to not be able to talk to me just because of their lives and
my prayer is today that you will realize that they're always talking to you. They're always in communication with you, that you're never disconnected. That's an impossibility because they are fractals of you, and that you can trust in the guidance that you're receiving because you are receiving guidance and you're acting on that guidance. We just don't always do it consciously. We don't always realize that we're acting on intuitive guidance. And we're receiving it all day, every day. We're receiving the whispers of our soul, the whispers of our guides. They're constantly, I mean, our angels, they're keeping us alive, you guys. They know, all of our team knows what our soul contract is. They know what we've laid out and planned for our life here, and they're keeping us on track all the time. They're supporting us, keeping us alive. I mean, I'm sure you've heard many stories of people who get in car accidents and all of a sudden somebody shows up and it then saves them and then disappears. You know, it's like our guardian angels can manifest into physical form to keep us alive if need be. So there's no way that we're not connected to them. There's no way that we're not communicating with them. What my prayer is today for all of us is that we learn how to do it deliberately and consciously and intentionally. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to learn how to become more in tuned. I love this. It started into a conversation, which is definitely not was on our agenda today, but now we've got another hand raised. Okay, let's do this. And then we'll drop in. Samita, what do you got?
Good morning. Sorry, my camera's being weird.
That's okay.
About embodiment when you are in situations that are designed to keep you in fight or flight mode. Because for me, it's like both a very, very chaotic, dysfunctional, abusive home environment, and then also workplaces that are they keep you in a fight or flight mode because they are toxic.
Yeah.
And my problem with embodiment over the years and trying to get into my body and listen to my body is that I am chronically dissociated and kept that way because it's really hard to like spend at least even 24 hours away from an environment that triggers me back into dissociation because it's not safe. What do you do when it's like that?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking that and bringing that forward, because that is something we're going to tap into a little bit here today, but not to the depth of what you're asking. Um, yes, you guys, if our body is communicating to us and our heart and is everything is guiding us, and but you don't feel safe in your body and you're living in states of disassociation, which many of us and most of us do, especially as children, we did, then you can't fully access or at least consciously tap into the sensations in your body, because again, you're disassociated, you're in the mind, or you're trying there are forms of escapism. So the reason that this event turned from a very everything I did before were quantum meditations and activations where you guys guided you closed down your eyes and you were guided to connect to our star family. And we went to a quantum portal, really beautiful experiences, but it didn't involve the body. And the reality is that not only is healing done in and through the body, not through the mind, but our intuition is in and through the body. Our guidance, so how do we feel safe in the body? Tapping is honestly one of the number one tools that I have found to cultivate safety, a felt sense of safety inside the body. And we're going to get more into that today. So we will get to that. But tapping, the first thing actually is energy hygiene. The very first thing is energetic hygiene. And I teach all of this, and that's what we're going to get in, and I'll share more about that. But energetic hygiene is a non-negotiable for me. And what that means is if we're energy beings and we are energy first, thoughts, energy, emotions, energy. You guys, the psychic field is messy. It is so messy. And if you are an empath, if you are sensitive and naturally, and we're all empaths and we're all that sensitive, then you're going to be even more susceptible to the psychic field. And so my recommendation is to set up a protective barrier every day when you go out the door. Anchor into your center, ground into the ground, connect up to the sun, put up your energetic boundaries, set forth the intention that only your frequency or higher may enter. Only benevolent energies of pure light and love may penetrate your field, so that you're not thinking other people's thoughts and feeling other people's emotions. So everything that comes at you bounces off your field and is just like boom, boom. So it's not absorbed by you. You'll still feel it. You'll still, but you're not going to absorb it. Also, regular energy clearing, regularly clearing your energy, micro alignments, clearing your energy. If you're in a really toxic or intense or emotional environment, you want to anchor into your hygiene, anchor into your energetic clearing, and then finding tools like tapping. If you are dealing with
I love that.
Yeah. Awesome.
You said, I mean, everything I agreed with you. And I really liked on was it Monday? You did the tapping with us.
Yeah.
That was my first time ever doing tapping. I've never done it before. I was amazed. I felt like I was yawning. I felt tears. And I was like, I didn't realize that. So when you're tapping, you're basically connecting to the nervous system, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay. I've never done it before.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. I've got 2 slides on tapping today.
Amazing.
So, awesome. Perfect segue. We're going to talk a little bit more about tapping. I'm really excited that if that's your first time tapping and you had that much of a visceral response, I've got chills. Woo! That means tapping is a practice for you. It means tapping is going to be one of those tools that you're going to come back to. So here's the deal. When I'm talking like to my parents and it's an intense conversation, I'm going to be tapping. You're going to see me tapping. I'm regulating my nervous system. If it's an intense conversation, I'm like, okay, I need to be in my body. I need to be in my body. Okay. Because you don't feel safe. And so tapping, another thing that is something you can do in the moment and right away. And then breathing techniques. But y'all, I found tapping to be so much more effective. So we're going to get into greater details into all of that yumminess today. And thank you so much for bringing that forward, because yes, everything that we're doing here is bringing it down into the body. We are spirit, we are divine beings, but we came here to have a human experience. And if we live in disassociation in the spiritual realms, then we're not fully present in our body. Then we can't, there's so many things that we lose access to. We can't consciously create the life that we desire. We can't fully appreciate every now moment. Bonnie taps and drives. Yeah, I like that. I remember if you're in traffic, that was our conversation yesterday, right? With the Zoe, like if you're in traffic and you're feeling stressed and you're feeling anxious, you got to tap. You got to tap, come into your body. It's one of my favorite practices. It really is. And I forgot that it's something that I've been teaching for so many years. But let's get into even greater. Do you understand if you were doing it in front of, do they understand? Yeah, I mean, I think I've actually had friends who they were a little bothered. My parents don't care, but I've had friends that know what I'm doing and they're like, oh, why is she tapping? And I'm like, well, this conversation's intense. And often I tap when other people are sharing intense stuff. So if somebody's venting to me, fine, vent away, but I'm going to be tapping while you vent. I'm going to be helping you process, because what they've also learned is that with mirror neurons and just the energetic field, that I can tap for you. It's not as impactful, it's not as effective, but I can definitely tap for you. So tippy taps. Yeah, little tippy taps. So let's get into today, because I think so much more will unfold, and I think you guys will have more questions, and some of your questions will already be answered, and we're already on the perfect right track for where we're going. So let's do a really short energy presence practice so that we can all bring ourselves fully into this container, anchor into the quantum portal that we created, that with the intention of radical transformation being held by God. So what wants to come through? I thought I had an idea as to what we were going to do, but let's see. We're going to do some breathing. Yeah. We're going to do 2 breathing techniques. That feels good. So the first thing I want us to do, actually, we're going to do 3 movements. We're going to get into our bodies. Yeah. You want to get into your bodies? It's important. If we haven't talked about that enough. Your spine also is how you connect. In addition to the central column of your channel, we know the chakra system, right? Your spine is how you connect to the sun and how you connect to the earth. Grounding down, if you are somebody who feels disassociated a lot, grounding is going to be your best friend. And that doesn't have to be putting your feet on the physical ground. It can be doing this practice, making that connection. So we are going to open up our spine and open up our body, our energy meridians and nadis, so that we can fully receive the divine light that we are, so that we can fully connect to the divine light of God and be clear conduits and channels for this divine energy to flow effortlessly through our being, connecting heaven and earth. We are the acupressure needles of the planet. She is ascending into and through us. And so these high frequency light, all of this beautiful light, this plasma light that is flooding our planet, is creating coherence. Light creates coherence. It brings separation into wholeness, and it carries information, which is why we talk about light in conjunction with all knowing. So let's go ahead. And I'm going to invite you guys. We're just going to start. You can put your hands on your knees, and we're just going to start with some like little seated cat cows to kind of start loosening the spine up. So you're going to breathe in as you come out and your chest opens up, and then you're going to breathe out as you close down. So you can probably just pull your chair back. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of music in the background because it's nice. Oh, I like this one. It's slow and soft. So cat cows, using your breath, connecting to the movement, connecting to your body and loosening the spine, finding those crunchy spots, breathing in on the way up and out on the way down.
It comes to me upon the strings when I hear it, well, I sing. I can't can't say it's my creation. Staying patient, what it brings. Let me say I'm coming.
We're going to move into spirals now. We're going to start counterclockwise. So I invite you, you can keep your hands on your knees and you're just going to spiral in some gentle circles.
Just keep on believing, passing down an old song.
Everything in the universe spirals. So as we spiral, we begin tapping into the natural energy that flows throughout the cosmos.
Everybody's got that chapter of dark and darker days.
And I invite you to set the intention. If you have any denseness, any heaviness, any stress, to just let it all go. On each exhale, breathing it all out. Breathing in as you move forward, out as you move back. In as you move forward, out as you move back. Connecting your breath to the movement.
The more it's pushing you back. So you
go ahead and switch directions.
rush your healing. Darkness has its teachings. Love is never leaving.
Slowly spiral until you come into stillness and close your eyes and just bring your awareness to your heart for a moment. Just settle in your heart here. Settle in the sanctuary of your soul. This is the seat of your soul. Allow yourself to land fully in this present now moment. Feel, sense, see, or imagine a golden seed of light inside of your heart space. And through your intention, allow that seed to act like a magnet, setting the intention to call back all of your energy, your power, calling back all of your consciousness, all soul fragments. Each in breath, breathing in all parts of you.
Confusion clouds the heart,
bringing yourself into fragmented separation, into divine wholeness, oneness. Breathing out any energy that is not your own. Breathing out any energy that doesn't belong here in this container.
You can't rush your healing.
We're going to create our, it's called an antakarana or tube of light. We're going to go ahead and create that channel pathway. So bring your attention, your awareness to the sun, our beautiful beloved sun star, this portal of light, God's love. And invite this stream of light to move down, down, down through the Earth's atmosphere, down, down, down into your room, into your home, and open up your crown to receive of this platinum gold light, this shower of this beautiful cosmic platinum gold energy. Inviting it now to pour down into the crown, opening, cleansing, clearing, and aligning all of your chakras, meridians, and nadis as you fill up with this light. Bringing it down into the third eye, the throat, the heart. We're going to continue on to the solar plexus, sacral, root. And now open up your grounding cord, open up your root, and allow that flood, this beautiful waterfall of light to descend down, down, down through the earth's many layers, down, down, down to the heart of our mother, our Mama Gaia. Ground yourself in Allow yourself to be held. Allow yourself to feel supported, to feel grounded, to feel anchored, becoming even more embodied. We're going to bring this light, sipping it up like a straw, drawing it up, 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 up. Opening up the root even more. And bringing this beautiful crystalline light up into your body. Bringing it up through the central column and anchoring it into your heart. Allow your heart to expand and to open even more. I'm going to call in the archangels of the horizontal and vertical plane. Each one of these archangels is an emanation of God's light, a fractalization of the pure white light. So allow these angels to bring in this rainbow, sparkly energy. And this energy is sweeping the room around you, and it is sweeping your energy field and sweeping all the way into and through your physical body, your cells, your DNA, your subatomic particles. Calling in God, source, creator, all that is, the divine, to be felt within us and around us and to hold us in this container, this felt sense of safety. We are safe to be here. We are safe to be embodied. You are safe to be in your body. You are safe here. Feeling as your nervous system relaxes and your heart opens even further. Let's take a couple of big deep breaths in. Big deep breath in. Two more with a sigh, a tone, whatever feels good to you. One more. Beautiful. And whenever you're ready, you can open back up your eyes. Hope you feel a little more present, a little more embodied. It's really quite amazing what just calling in God, grounding down, anchoring, all of that can really do for us. Micro alignments, it can just shift your energy instantaneously. And I love all of the comments around how amazing tapping is. And I'm excited for you guys to add this into your play box. So let's get started. Yes, Nita asked for the music. If you could drop in, we've got a whole I Am Activation playlist with 75 songs, 7 hours and 26 minutes of incredibly uplifting, inspiring, positive, and deeply healing music. So yeah, drop that in the chat for them. And I hope you guys enjoy that. So we're going to just jump right in. We're going to jump right into today's topic and conversation because we've already jumped right in. We're going to jump in even further. We're going to skip over a lot of, let me share my screen with you guys. Where's my share screen? There it is. Things get moved around. Okay. Beautiful. Today, I am omniscient, all-knowing light. Omniscient, right? That is, again, a phrase that we often associate with God, with the divine, all powerful, all knowing. And we live in a paradoxal, very paradox of a reality. And so, yes, you are all knowing. There is a part of you that is interconnected and one with God, with source, with the creator. There's a part of you that knows and understands everything. There's a part of you, the higher self aspect of you that designed and orchestrated this entire life experience. It knows. It knows where you are going. It knows where you've been. And it is consistently guiding you and whispering into your heart, your soul. It is guiding it is the compass of your experience. And simultaneously, we are all experiencing a veil of illusion and a veil of forgetfulness, where there's a part of us that doesn't know. We don't know the full picture. We can't see it, at least. And so there's this immense amount of trust that we are being asked to cultivate. And it's not about seeing the entire path, but rather seeing the very next step. And the beauty is that's exactly what spirit asks of us. It's like, you don't need to know the whole path ahead. You just need to know what the next step is. And you take it and you take it, and the next step will reveal itself. The moment that you take that first step, the path often reveals itself, one step at a time. And so let's talk a bit about, oh no. Yes. Okay. Yep. We'll get into tapping. We're going to first go into, I've got some things to share with you guys, some really good stuff. So why does this matter? Breaking free from the I don't know. I don't know, uncertainty, doubt, lack of clarity. This is what I had shared earlier. This is what I've noticed where so many, it breaks my heart, so many dreams go to die. And I've witnessed so much pain and human suffering around this disconnection from our divine intuitive intelligence. When we are trapped in this limited perception, we only see a fraction of reality, and we miss so much that's available to us. And the truth is, we were never meant to rely solely on our logical mind. Our society has praised and celebrated the logical way of thinking, and it has in a way demonized our intuitive intelligence, which is actually the greater intelligence. Because guess what? Our mind only knows what it knows. It only knows what it's learned, or what it's experienced, or what it's heard other people experience. Whereas your heart, your intuition is connected to all multidimensional aspects, fractals of your being. It's connected to your Akashic records. It exists outside of time and space. And it has this bird's eye view looking down, and it can see all timelines, all possibilities. And so we were never meant to rely solely on the local mind. Now we are relearning rather, that our heart or intuitive intelligence is a direct connection to the divine, and it transcending time and space. And when we access this wisdom, it's truly how, it's always available to us, but when we access it consciously and deliberately, that's when we truly move into a divine co-creation with source as source, with the divine as the divine. And so let's talk a little bit about the science. So I normally share this information we go into love and then we go into light. And so we're doing it a little backwards. So we're going to talk a little bit about the law of one. The law of one is an incredible set of text, and they discuss very clearly the creation of our universal system. And they discuss how our universe was created out of love and light. And they say that the one infinite creator and its original thought, also known as the logos, is unconditional love. And they say that it is, if they talk about the Big Bang, they say that it is if the creator's heart beat once, and from that heartbeat, the entire creation came into being. And then we will continue expanding until the black hole that exists in our universe collects the final experiences and harvests that knowledge for creator, for God, for the divine. And so they say that they actually call it light, love, love, light. They actually do not separate light and love from one another. And what they say is that light is birthed from the one infinite creator or intelligent infinity, which is a field of love, the logos, unconditional love. And so, in other words, love, this field of love, this magnetic field of energy creates light. And that love, the logos, is the great organizer of light because it's magnetic. So it organizes, and it organizes this light into the densities and into the dimensional experiences, into the different rays of light. We know, like the white light, it goes through the prism, and then it fractalizes into what seems to be and appears to be separate colors of light, each one with its own quality, its own energy. And so love, the logos, or love, then creates from this process, vibration, it then creates the photon. And as we, the photon, which is the basic particle of light, and then the photon, by added vibrations and rotations, then further condenses down into the particles of densities. And then you and I. So we know that our reality is not physical. It's actually light crystallized into and fractal, or not fractalized. It is an illusion of light that looks physical and looks dense. So we are light beings. We are made of light, and light birthed from love, not separate from love, light, light, love. So I wanted to kind of give you guys, and for me, I find that to be really helpful, and to kind of understand from, especially through the law of one, again, how we have, how we are created and birthed and made from this light. Light is information. Light is consciousness. We are these incredible bioorganic quantum computers. Yet we are only using about 1 to 10% of our potential. So what happens when we unlock that other 90%? Well, that other 90% is latent in your DNA. We were originally created as 12-stranded DNA beings, yet we only have 2 strands that are showing up right now. When we work with light, we access, or we activate our DNA, our latent DNA. Junk DNA, there's no such thing as junk DNA. That was leftover stuff from when there was some manipulation to our genetic blueprint. And so now we are utilizing love being a magnetizing force, and light, not separate from, to awaken our energy, awaken our light body, awaken our DNA, and access our original divine capabilities, our superhuman capabilities, if you will. So when we talk about being illuminated, to be illuminated literally means to think God's thoughts, to be enlightened, to be filled with light, to be filled with the truth, to be one with divine truth. And so I love light, and light is really quite amazing. And just the study and understanding of light is just so incredibly fascinating. So at a scientific, just a few studies to kind of bring it all in, Dr. Fritz Albert Popp, he found that the human DNA stores and emits photons, light. Thousands of trillions of light particles are folded inside of our DNA. And he studied and showed that when we are sick, you can measure the photons in your body. And when you're sick, the photon levels decrease. So there is a direct correlation between health and light. And then there was another study called the phantom DNA effect, where they took DNA and they put it under a microscope, and the DNA absorbed the light from the room around them. And then when they removed the DNA, the light remained. And what does that tell us? That tells us that the wave, the particle, precedes and informs our physical structure. So in other words, we thought that DNA held the information for life, that DNA was the encoding aspect of our being. And now what we're finding out is that light itself, the photons, are what are actually holding the information. And our DNA is enfolding that information. And because we live in a holographic universe, every particle has the wisdom and information of the whole, of the perfection of God, of the divine. Another incredible study showed there was a raspberry plant, and this raspberry plant had a tumor. And they took a hologram, they took light, a laser, and they beamed it through a healthy raspberry plant. And they beamed it into the sick raspberry plant, and the cancerous cells of the sick plant transformed into the healthy ones, which is amazing. They were able to heal a cancerous plant by light. Because why? The light, the photons went through the holograph of the healthy plant, and it carried in it the information of health and wellness. The perfected blueprint of that plant then got projected into the sick plant, and it healed itself. So I'm sharing all of this so you can understand the importance of light and the understanding of why we work with light. And why the more light that you carry, the more light that you can hold, why we do energy work, because we're working with light to clear out the stuck, the stagnant, so that we can be clear conduits and channels, and the light can effortlessly flow through our body. The more light that you can carry, the more light that you can hold in your body, the more intuitive you are. It's amazing. The more And again, light, love, light, not separate. Let's think about that a little bit more. If love is what the entire universe is made of, then love is the key to accessing your intuition. And what is the opposite of love? Fear. Fear. So if we are in states of uncertainty, we're like, I don't know. Where is that probably coming from? It's probably coming from fear. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of making a mistake. Fear of the outcome of what could come from us making that decision. And so if we're in fear, we can't exist in love at the same time. And fear is the anti-intuitive intelligence frequency. So if you are ever trying to figure out, this is what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And you're like, I don't know. And you just keep swirling around in this uncertainty and this fear, then you will never know. And think about it, you guys. We know our words are spells. Our words are spells. So if you say, I don't know, well, you're telling the universe, I don't know, and I don't want to know, and I'll never know. So my old coach and mentor, one of her biggest mantras was, I do know. I know. And the more that you claim to know, the more that you open yourself up to the possibility of actually knowing, actually receiving of that knowing. So when we talk about opening ourselves up to more light, when we talk about embodying more light, We are talking about embodying more of our own being. We're talking about embodying more of our own soul. We're talking about embodying more of God. But we're also talking about embodying and accessing more knowing, more of our intuitive divine nature and power. And I really believe that the awakening of our divine potential is the path of solarization. Our journey of ascension is literally embodying more light. And by embodying more light, we activate our latent DNA, we activate our intuitive intelligence, and we activate our superhuman abilities. So, you guys do know, because you know you're one with source. You know that you are quantum beings, you exist outside of time and space. You designed all of this for your highest and greatest good. There is a part of you that has known, will always know, and will never not know. Knowing is who and what you are. Yes, the journey of solarization. You know. There's no way that you don't know. So claiming that, owning that, I know what my next step is. Yeah, because that is true. Part of you knows exactly what your next step is. I like that, Tammy. I choose to remember. I forget what that body of work that comes from, but that's a great one. I choose to remember. Because yeah, you do know, right? And so it is an act of remembrance. It's remembering what you already know to be true. I choose to remember. I allow myself to claim that I know. Yes, Tiffany. So what I want to do is in the developing and cultivating your intuitive nature, it happens over time. It happens through embodiment. It happens through working with light. It happens through working to clear out any of the stuff, the places and spaces that say, I don't know. It's not safe for me to know. I don't trust my intuitive intelligence. I'm afraid of making a mistake. I'm afraid of making a decision. I'm afraid of making the wrong choice. And again, holding ourselves in so much love for those parts of us that believe that, because all it's doing is keeping us safe, and it's doing a really good job. But now we get to work through that resistance and cultivate a deeper sense of safety so that we can truly access our intuitive divine nature. One of the most amazing tricks for that is tapping or humming. So when I'm working on things and I'm at the computer and I've been sitting here all day long and I'm just like, and all of a sudden I get, they call them brain farts, right? Like your just brain's not working anymore. And you're like, what? And you're not able to really focus. The intention is to not just push through. It's I got to realign. I got to fix, my energy. My mind is working overdrive, and I'm not going to figure it out from here. I'm going to figure it out from here. So I will tap, I will hum, I will sing, jumping jacks, but I call them star jumps. I do star jumps because they make they clear your energy field really quick. I'll jump on my trampoline. I have a reformer or a rebounder. I'll go jump on the trampoline. I'll go jump on the rebounder. Clear your energy, cultivate safety in the body. Once the nervous system says, okay, it's safe for me to breathe, it's safe for me to be, I can move in my heart, clarity comes every single time. Quick story. So that job, I've told you guys about commercial real estate. I went into commercial real estate. I spent about 3.5 years there. I went to another company after the company I'd mentioned to you guys the last couple of days. And that company, I'd been on my spiritual journey for many years by this point. And I knew that I was here for something more. I knew that I knew that everything that I had done had led me to, was divinely serving and purposeful. And every part, every job, everything that I had was part of my path. But I knew that there was something more for me. And I didn't know what that was at the time. But I knew I wanted to serve. I knew I was here for something greater. I knew I had a purpose beyond commercial real estate brokerage. And I prayed about it for months. And I get called into the office. It was during COVID. And the company I had just started working for, they hired me for a particular type of project. But when COVID came through, the project was null and void. And so they didn't really have a need for me. So they invited me into the office and set me down and said, Lacey, I'm so sorry, but we're going to have to let you go. We just have no work for you. And I cried in this boardroom with like 8 men. I was just, because the fear hit me so hard. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to find another job in the middle of a pandemic? It was right before Christmas time. I was like, how am I going to pay my bills? What am I going to do? And I get to my car and I took a few breaths because I knew I couldn't drive in that state. And then all of a sudden, a huge smile came across my face. And I knew that this was a gift. This is what I had been praying for, that I would have never left on my own. I would have never left commercial real estate. I would have kept trying to do that and figuring out what I was here to do simultaneously. So what a gift it was. So then I find myself at home and I'm swirling around and I don't know soup. I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do next. But I kept praying about it. And I learned how to communicate with my divine team through and channeling practices through angelic Reiki. And so I had a really strong connection with them. And I was pulling cards and doing all sorts of stuff. And they're like, trust. I had a session with an incredible dear friend of mine. And she was like, honey, you've got 2 options. You can go into fear and go find another job right now, or you can trust that this was a gift that you'd been praying for, and you can wait for the next step. So I spent 6 months praying for that next step. Praying, waiting, but waiting ready. And in those 6 months, because I knew, I was like, this is what I'm choosing, I underwent massive transformation. It was like, okay, if she's really choosing this is what she's choosing, we've got to do some cleanup before she's fully ready and stepping forward in this way. So I swam around and I don't know. And then all of a sudden one day in my inbox pops an invitation for a free event, Women Rocking Business, Sage Levine, how to make money with your message, or how to bring your message forward and make money with it. And I was like, I don't have a message. But Spirit whispered and said, sign up for that event. Sign up. So I signed up for the event. We had a huge storm here in Houston, but I was committed. I didn't have power for like 5 days. I went to my brothers who had power and I participated in this event. And at the end of it, they had an offer to join this program. And it was way more money than I had available. I didn't know how I was going. I didn't know how I was going to make the payments. And I didn't know if I was even going to sign up. And then I found myself in the shower one day and I'm sitting here washing my hair and I'm thinking about it. And Spirit says to me, does it bring you joy? Does it bring you joy? And I said, does what bring me joy? And I said, does this bring you joy? Think about what it would mean to say yes to this program, to say yes to you potentially being a coach, a mentor, and serving and supporting others. Does it feel exciting and expansive? And I was like, yes, it feels so exciting and so expansive. I don't know. And scary and so scary. And Spirit said, that's your answer. That's your answer. Trust. One foot in front of the other. That's your next step. You don't know yet how you're going to make the money. You don't know yet how you're going to pay for every single one of those payments. You don't know yet how you're going to actually serve or who you're going to actually serve. But this is what that program was for. And man, I trusted. I maybe didn't know consciously, but I knew in my heart everything was going to be okay. I knew in my heart that that was what God was telling me to do. I was being guided to do. And I took a chance. I took a risk. Because guess what? When we live in divine co-creation with spirit, when we live in this constant state of, hey, what is in my highest and divine alignment? Checking in with ourselves, taking the time to be really deliberate, intentional creators with our life. When we really trust in spirit and the divine, then we are able to take greater risks and greater chances in our life. And even though there might be a little bit of that residual uncertainty, that's the paradox, my love. That's the paradox. Because if you knew the end, if you knew the story, if you knew the whole story and how it all played out, it's like watching the same movie over and over again. It wouldn't be as much fun. Like, would you really have as much of a good time if you knew how it was all going to play out? So there's this discovery, this unfolding, and in and of itself, what I believe we are all doing here is we're all learning to trust. I'm pretty positive that the human experience is learning to trust. Because what is trust? Trust is anti-fear. So we're learning how to alchemize and transmute our fear into radical trust, which is love. So we're moving from fear into love. We're moving from logic into heart-centered knowing. We're learning how to hold more light so that we can become the light. And we're learning how to say yes to our soul's guidance before you know how it will unfold, before you know how it's going to actually unfold. Because guess what? If you try to control the outcome, if you were trying to plan it perfectly to the T, you close the door for miracles and magic. You close the door for miracles and magic. Emily, I love that. Your word for this year is trust. That's a powerful one. Such a powerful one. But you close the doors to miracles and magic in your life. Because guess what? If you plan it out, it's going to be from your logical mind. It's going to be from this place of, okay, this is what's possible. This is what my mind, my ego knows to be possible. And it's going to be riddled with limitation. But when you live in divine co-creation with spirit, when you live in full trust, when you live in communication with and allow yourself to be guided by your intuitive intelligence, your non-local intuitive intelligence that has a much bigger picture. This is like working with your higher self, right? It's got a much bigger picture of what's happening and it can guide you, and it is guiding you in every moment. And I promise all of you, you're being guided every day, always have been from the first breath that you took on this planet. But what we're doing is we're going from, we call it awakening for a reason, the unconscious to the conscious. We're moving from unconsciously being guided to consciously and deliberately engaging with and asking for that guidance. Because the universe is designed that as you ask, so you receive. So if you ask, you will receive the answer. It's how the universe works. It's a non-negotiable. It's the universal laws at play. The thing is the answer might not come in the way that you think it's going to come in. It's not, and it might not come in right away. It might take, like me, 6 months before the next steps presented themselves. But I had to trust, and I kept tuning in, and I wanted to, and I was so afraid that entire time. And I almost reached out to a couple companies, and I almost was like, because I saw my little padding of money dwindle and dwindle and dwindle. And I just got so afraid. I'm like, 6 months of not working. And I could have let that fear overcome me and make a choice based off of fear. But instead, I chose to trust and follow my guidance. And the next step presented itself. And guess what? The next step presented itself, and the next step presented itself, and the next step presented itself. When I got fired from my job in 2020, I guess, do you think I knew that I was going to be doing this right here, right now, teaching this exact program, holding an activational experience with a global audience of 1,600 people around the world, talking about how we are one with God? No. Oh my gosh, no. I never expected this. When I started that program, I thought I was going to, honestly, I thought I didn't even know who or what I was going to serve or what I was going to do. I knew none of that. I figured all, and that's evolved too. I started off serving women who wanted to live into their soul purpose, who knew they were here for something greater and more, because that's what I had done, because our life is our training ground. And then the message was very clear. Spirit, all of a sudden, again, in co-creation with Spirit, one day Spirit came in and said, no more. You're not here to just serve women. You're here for unity. And unity is not serving one particular sex. You're here to create experiences where all get to come together, because we all have similar things to share with each other, and we all get to learn from each other. And so co-ed containers are important. I was like, okay, Spirit, what is that going to look like? I had no idea, but I trusted. And then I engaged in conversation, and I asked, and it unfolded, and then it's evolved. The I Am Activation turned into the New Earth Ascension Academy. And the New Earth Ascension Academy this year, they said, yeah, you can still offer that, but you need to do something else. You want to be led and guided by Spirit? The people that you're here to serve are needing something different. Awesome, Spirit. What is that? Let's do it together. Man, you guys, like I would be lying if I didn't say I'm going to be sharing with you guys a program that Spirit and I created. And there's a part of me that's so scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if they don't like it? What if it's not good enough? Right? What if this is how silly it is? I was like, what if the marketing, because it's got pink in it, the men don't feel resonant with it because they're like, oh, the marketing's pink. It's got pink. Like, those are the silly things that my human thinks about. And I'm like, oh, sweetie, we created this with God. We created this with the divine. We created this in service. It doesn't matter. Trust. It's okay. If nobody likes it, it's okay. Right? Like so there's this deep surrender and trust that comes in when you are in divine co-creation. I can't tell you how many times I've made choices and decisions that when I got there, I signed up to be an angel and a helper angel for this event in Austin. It was this miracles retreat. And Spirit, I tuned in, and Spirit said, yes, go help with that retreat. And I show up at this retreat, and the leader of this retreat isn't in his heart. He was so egotistical. And I'd known this guy for years and followed his work, but I didn't know that about him. And I get there and I'm like, God, this is not a safe space. These people are disembodied. They're coming out of these meditations. And I'm like, God, why did you bring me here? And God said, you're here to help. You're here to hold space. You're here to clean up the mess of this container. So there's this, and I prayed, I was like, is this an alignment for me? Am I going to receive something good? And my expectations though, right? My expectations were, I'm going to go and have this incredibly expansive experience. And and maybe I can work with this guy later. I had these certain expectations, but I was there for a different reason. So there's this beauty. And when you're guided by Spirit, if you end up in a situation that's not what you prefer, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Well, God told me to be here. The divine told me to be here. My higher self told me to be here. Kelly says she wants to know who. I'll tell you later, Kelly. I'll tell you later. I don't want to blast this person out there, but they're really, really well known with thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of followers and have been in this space for so long. And that's the beauty of discernment too, my loves. You know, just because somebody seems to have got it together, they seem to have a big following, they talk spiritual, they say all the right things, they teach the right things. You've got to feel where their words are coming from. Are they coming from the heart? Do they mean what they say? Are they living in integrity? Oh, awesome, Paul. Paul says, I'm exactly where you were now. I'm learning to trust the process, find what brings the passion, but it's been almost a year now, ready for some divine co creation. Awesome, Paul. I love that. I love that so much. You're doing everything that you are meant to be doing. And I guarantee you over this last year, there's been a massive up leveling and healing and purification. And you've been doing the work so that as the next steps come, you're ready to say yes. And my prayer is, and I've actually designed an experience so that you guys can deepen into that trust, deepen into that knowing, learn how to work in divine co-creation with spirit. And there's the balance too. There's a balance around waiting for the next step and also taking action that feels inspired. So that is also my prayer. If you guys are taking action because you feel like you have to, you need to, it's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your time. So we don't want to be creating because we feel like this needy energy, right? Like I need this, I need to. So you want to make sure it's being done from a place of inspiration and guidance. That's one of the keys of divine co-creation, which we're going to do a whole week on that in Soul Alchemy, a whole week on talking about how we work in co-creation with spirit and tap into our higher divine guidance to receive of the next steps and to get really clear even further on what's holding us back. Because maybe the next steps have been presented to you, but maybe you didn't notice it because you were in a place of fear or not in the right state of consciousness to even notice the opportunities as they present themselves. Or maybe the next steps have been planned, have been shared with you, but you're still swimming in doubt. No, was that my intuition or was that my ego? I don't know if I trust that. Tammy, I'll share it with you in a minute. It's going to be a whole program, actually. It's a whole 7-week program. It's a beautiful offering. Actually, let me go ahead and share that now before we go into our practice. Please know these choices are subconscious as well. No one is consciously choosing to have a difficult life. Absolutely. Thank you, darling. I appreciate that. And I think it's how you perceive what's difficult or not, right? It's your perception of the experience. I do believe that we did come here for challenges. I do believe that. I don't believe that we came here to have easy lives. There are other people who have chosen easy lives in this lifetime, and we have lives where we have very easy lives. But many of us chose to come and have a life of challenges. And challenges doesn't have to mean hard. Challenges are opportunities for growth if you choose to see it and perceive it through that lens. Even something like, having to move back home with your parents, that could be seen as an incredible challenge. Oh my gosh. And you can swirl around in shame and blame. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not succeeding. And, this isn't where I should be at this point in time in my life. Right? You can perceive it in that way as a difficulty or a challenge, or you could perceive it as, okay, this is a gift. There's an opportunity here for me within this experience. Living at home with your parents. Yeah, lessons. But even then, lessons, we could call them blessings. They're blessings. They're blessings. They're lessons that are truly blessings in disguise. truly blessings in disguise. So let me share with you guys really quick a little bit of soul alchemy, since we've already kind of talked a little bit about that. And it sounds like there's some interest in knowing a little bit more. I'm not going to go really in depth into it today. Reason being is because time, but we've got more days here. So I'm going to share with you guys soul alchemy because it's so relevant to what we're speaking to right now. Oh, I don't know if that stopped share. I got to move this over here first. Real quick, go through this offer. Alondra, if you could drop the link, it's in your link. Drop it in there. Blessings. Yeah. Soul alchemy. All right, guys, this is what came through over the last few months. I shared yesterday on the Talk with Neil Gar. I did in December a 10-day silent meditation retreat, Vipassana. And you are very clearly not meant to write or have pens and paper in this experience. Spirit told me to bring a pen and paper, and I did. And in that, I wrote down all the notes for this program. Like it was just coming in as downloads. And so much of this was generated in this 10-day meditation retreat. So it is a 7-week breakthrough accelerator and miracle manifester designed for holistic healing and higher self embodiment. You guys, those are one and the same. As you heal holistically, you create space, you do them simultaneously. We create space and then we call in our light, our soul light. So we create space and then we call in our soul light. So it also includes an online energy healing weekend retreat, angelic Reiki 1 and 2 training and certification. So this is 7 devotional weeks of energy mastery and healing work. This is a transformative program that has been designed to help you clear and integrate unprocessed trauma, release old stories, dissolve fears, reprogram limiting beliefs, all of the junk and stuff keeping you small. And I say that lovingly because I don't believe it to be genuinely junk. I believe it to be gold, yet to be mined, right? Yet to be uncovered. But by doing this deep healing work, you will embody more of your true soul self. 111, fantastic. And you will become a frequency match. The intention is to become a frequency match for all that you desire to receive and experience in your life. And you guys, I am a trauma-informed practitioner, coach, and mentor. And so this is a sacred and trauma-informed space for you to connect with God, for you to connect with the divine, for you to connect with source within you and outside of you in each other and your brothers and sisters, but also outside of you as in the paradox, right? Yes, we are one with God, but we are currently experiencing individuation, and there is a divine energy, a frequency, all that is the infinite intelligence, universal love that we can also connect to and cultivate a deeper relationship with. So this is soul alchemy. Soul alchemy is the path of transformation. It is embracing your human ego, your shadow, your inner critic, your inner child with so much unconditional love and acceptance to transform your pain into your power, into your purpose. And this is a purification of your consciousness. We're clearing out the pain body, if you are familiar with the pain body, so that you can integrate your human self with your true soul self, shifting from that separation into the unity, dissolving the resistance between our human and who we really are so that you can embody more of your divinity. Holistic healing, because we cannot separate the physical, mental, emotional from the spiritual. Addressing one without the other is incomplete. It's pretty fruitless and we see that with talk therapy. And so more and more and more therapists are gravitating towards somatic therapies because soma means body, and the physical body has been the missing piece for so many years. And we know, again, talk therapy doesn't create lasting change. Healing happens in and through the body, just as our angel earlier was sharing, right? Like most of us are moving from disassociative states, because if you're in your mind, you're either projecting into the past, trying to predict the future. So our mind, our ego is constantly living in the not now moment. It's analyzing the environment. Am I safe? Am I safe? How do I need to show up? What has happened before? How do I need to move forward? And so in and through the body healing happens in and through the body. And we are learning how to expand our nervous system's capacity to regulate and feel safe. Energy mastery, learning how to work with energy at all levels to heal, transmute, and realign with your higher self. So you're going to be guided through evidence-based practices. I won't get into all of those, but lots of incredible, beautiful evidence-based practice, meditation, breath work, shadow work, mirror work, inner child work, stress and energy management. We're going to be learning nervous system healing and regulation, energy hygiene, which I mentioned, and even, art of microalignment, working with energy psychology, trauma release, somatic experiencing, EFT, lots of really beautiful somatic therapies that I have learned and integrated and practiced that have radically changed not only my life, but those that I work with. You saw Alondra, you saw Bonnie, you even see Kelly in here talking about angelic Reiki. All of them are using Reiki or tapping. I don't know if Kelly's using tapping, but all of them are using Reiki, tapping. These are things that I was like, was helping guiding them through. Angelic Reiki, all of them have taken, and they can attest that angelic Reiki, it's so much more. It's learning how to master your energy, learning how to regulate your energy, learning how to protect your energy, and learning how to be a divine conduit and channel for the divine, learning how to communicate with the divine. That's what angelic Reiki is. And then also, guess what? You can use that energy with intention to heal. And Fawn, I forgot you're here, Fawn. Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you, brother. Fawn won the participation contest last year for this event. And so Fawn won the free angelic Reiki training. And that was incredible. And I haven't seen you since then, actually. So it's so good to see you in here. So does this sound like you? Are you ready for radical transformation? Here's the modules at a glance. You can kind of go into this. Again, we want to create, we'll have more space to go over this, but we're going to go through the trauma, the nervous system, self-love, inner child healing. We're going to be working with our masculine and feminine energy, the doing versus our being. We're going to be working with the relationships internally and externally to God the Father, God the Mother, our own mother and father, and working on healing those relationships. We're going to be doing ancestral healing work. We're going to be doing past life and multidimensional healing. We're going to learn how to rewrite timelines. We're going to learn how to remove ego devices. We're going to learn how to work with removing contracts. We're going to do, and then final in week 7, we're going to do quantum co-creation. We're going to really work with universal law to create the life you're yearning for. We're going to work with intuitive intelligence, cultivating your intuitive intelligence, and getting clear on your next steps, getting clear on what those next steps are for you. And this is all going to be done within, we've got 7 wisdom teaching calls, 1 call a week, about 2 hours. We've got 7 somatic. Okay, you guys, this is 4 calls a week. You don't have to show up for all 4. But when I said accelerator, I'm going to be real. I'm nervous about that. Like, I'm genuinely nervous about holding 4 calls a week for 7 weeks, and also so excited because that's what they're telling me. That's where the true transformation lies, in doing the work and being consistent with it. And so if you have struggled doing the work, if you've struggled being consistent, if you've got this amazing toolbox, but you don't use any of the tools and it stays closed and it's dusty, and you're like, I just need somebody to do it with me. That's what this is for. And not only are you doing it just with one person, you're doing it with the community. And so we have these somatic healing circles where we're going to discuss what comes up for us. We're going to share with each other. This is going to be a really, by the time we're done, these are going to be our best friends. This is a soul family. We're going to know each other so intimately on the other side of this. And then we have 14. I'm doing 2 a week to be able to do all time zones. Light worker, earth angel prayer circles. And you can call it intention circles. You can call it the power of late 8, Lynn McTaggart, except we're going to do it at the power of 20, 30. And so we're going to come together and share what is coming up for you. Because as we do this work, stuff is going to come up. You're going to get triggered by a loved one. You're going to, you're going to have really frustrating, triggering, fearful things happen in your life because you are doing this work. We're literally inviting, it's like taking the sand. We're inviting all of the gunk, the stuff that doesn't belong there anymore, to come to the surface. And the reality is that most of this stuff does not come up unless you feel safe. Our nervous system is in control of our healing. And if we don't feel safe to process an emotion, then it won't come up for us. So we have to cultivate this sense of safety in our body. And when we are in this container of safety, more than you realize is going to come up to the surface because you're ready for it and you've got the support for it. And so we're going to have these prayer circles and then your angelic Reiki certification. So we're actually going to kick off the entire experience with a 3-day retreat. April 4th, April 3rd is going to be the very first day. So we're going to start off with the angelic Reiki healing, and you're going to learn energy mastery. You're going to learn to work with the divine. You're going to be, at the end of it, you'll become attuned to angelic Reiki 1st and 2nd degree. So you'll have a certificate. Our sister Alondra here, she had her very first angelic Reiki session yesterday. Look at you. I love it. She's like, oh, stop it. Stop it. How amazing is that? Exciting. So not only that, not only are you learning tools for yourself that you can utilize and support you, but you're actually learning tools that you can use to serve others. All of the information here is stuff that you can use to serve others. What I know to be true is that I only tend to attract people that want to be of service and that want to show up in some way, whether that be not necessarily to be a coach or a mentor, but that they want to be that beacon of light in their communities and their family, and they want to help their family. They've got kids or brothers or sisters or parents, and they want to help. I remember the first time I did angelic Reiki on my mom. She went from having the most intense migraine, and she never gets them, but when she does, they're debilitating for her. I got rid of her migraine in 30 minutes. She fell completely asleep, and when she woke back up after the session, her migraine was gone. And she's like, thank you. She's like, I don't even understand fully what you did, but thank you. So we get to help others. And man, you guys, Spirit came in really strong around the price of this program and making it as accessible as we possibly can, quite literally, so that if anybody was like, yes, I'm in, the barrier to entry is minimal. So right now, for the next until 3/10, the program is $888 for the 7 weeks, or 6 payments of $666. And you can click here for the payment options. The full price of the program is $1,222, and it will go up to the full price in the coming week or so. But right now, for anyone who, and this is what I'm doing, I want you guys to honor your full body yes. I want you to say, yes, I am in, that is for me, and to be able to take action right away. So for anyone who's like, yes, are there any initiations in this program? What do you mean by initiations? To me, the entire program is an initiation of it in of itself. The entire thing is an initiation. You're being initiated into a new version of you. It is a death and rebirth. When we meet on day 1 for angelic Reiki, and when we close for our closing ceremony after those 7 weeks, we will get to meet new versions of each other. We will get to witness new versions of each other. It's not an initiation, but yes, it is a attunement. You will be attuned to angelic Reiki 1-2 level. If you want to be attuned to the master level, that's not included in this particular program, but I do that as well. And there's an opportunity to do that after the program. We're going to start with angelic Reiki 1 and 2, start with that form of energy mastery. And then we're going to work with that and integrate that. And then if you guys want to continue on, you can go to the master teacher level. So that's all I got for you for now. What I love is that at the price of $888, I think it's about $130-ish a week, $130 a week for 4 calls a week, for 2 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour in some change, and 1 hour in some change. So essentially, 6+ hours of support, help, guidance, connection, soul family support for $130 a week. It's less than 1 therapy session, and you get and you walk out on the other side with a certification. There are 4 levels for Reiki, for Reiki. So the master teacher level is 3 and 4. And at a master teacher level, all that means is that you can now teach other people. At an angelic Reiki 1 and 2 level, you can offer Reiki. Alondra is a 1 and 2. Alondra is a 1 and 2, and she offered her first session yesterday for an exchange, which is beautiful. So congratulations, my love. That's really, really exciting. It's really exciting. So then it becomes a tool in your box, not only for you, your loved ones, your family, but also potentially that you could use to serve and support others and receive of the abundance that you are through that service, because we are here to receive of abundance. We are innately abundance. Abundance is God is abundance. Lack is the opposite. So if you are a lack is the opposite of God. It's the opposite of being connected to all that is. So abundance is your natural, innate birthright. And so all of us are meant to experience and receive abundantly. And most of us are actually working on becoming custodians of New Earth abundance so that we can recirculate it in a healthy way to make the world a better place. So I want to share a little bit more about tapping. And we're going to go over on time together. My sincere apologies. Today we had a 15-minute kind of lead-in conversation that I wasn't expecting, and which is great. I'm really glad that we did. It feels like it was important. So tapping generates electrical signals that are carried through the body's energy meridians to clear stuck energy. So when we talked about the photons of light, the denseness, the darkness, when we hold on to stuck emotions, trauma in our body and our nervous system, it actually creates less light, less photons, less access to love, and creates disease in that area. And I'm sure you guys have heard the body keeps the score. The body keeps the score. And so the body is storing our memories, which is why we utilize the body. So we're actually tapping the energy out of the meridians. We're actually releasing it and letting it go. And it relaxes the nervous system and creates a felt sense of safety. It is clinically proven to treat stress, chronic pain, depression, PTSD, change habits, release deep unconscious patterns, clear trauma. You guys, tapping has been around since the 80s. It's not new. And it has over 120 something different studies that have been done. And tapping blows every other modality out of the water, even EMDR. You think of the gold standard in psychology and counseling and therapy, tapping blows it out of the water. It is so much more effective. In an hour of tapping, in one study, 1 hour of tapping, no words, just tapping on the body, they down-regulated. So we epigenetically, we receive our ancestors go through traumatic events, and then they pass that all along to us so that we can stay safe and protect us. And so then we have these epigenetic markers in our body that get turned on from stress, in our internal and external environment. And that's what creates disease. Cancer, just because you have the gene for cancer doesn't mean you're going to get it. That epigenetic tag has to be turned on for cancer to start manifesting in your body. In an hour of tapping alone, they were able to down-regulate, literally like turning off the switch in their genes for over 60 different little switches. I mean, that's incredible that we can create that level of transformation at a genetic level simply by utilizing this practice. This practice is incredible on its own. Tapping it connects to the vagus nerve, it connects to the nervous system, it creates safety in your body. And in real time, if you tap all day long, guess what you're doing? You're just creating resilience in your nervous system. Your nervous system, it's actually building resilience so that you get less triggered. or you are able to stay anchored in your body when it feels like chaos around you. When we do targeted tapping, like emotional freedom technique, or what we've been doing, inner child or parts work, we're somatically stimulating the physical body to release the muscular tension and armor, the rigidity, while recalling the traumatic memory, or while recalling the limiting beliefs, while tapped into our inner child's resistance. When we do that simultaneously, then we are removing the emotional context of that memory. In other words, we're telling ourselves we're safe, we're safe, we're safe. And then we no longer have a triggered response to that emotion or that belief or that situation or that trauma, that past experience. So when we focus on those painful experiences, when we focus on our limiting beliefs, when we focus on the resistance in our body, we are literally releasing that emotional charge and rewiring that experience. We're rewiring our nervous system. We're rewiring our operating system. Your nervous system is controlling so much more of your reality than you know, because it's our nervous system that says, oh yeah, I can have that. I can handle that. Most of us, our lack of abundance in our life is because of our nervous system, because our nervous system doesn't believe that we are safe or capable, and we don't trust ourselves in holding that much money because of our beliefs. So it doesn't matter. The nervous system is the key to so much. And so I wanted to, you guys might want to screenshot this because you might not find this anywhere else. And I say that because I'm get specific around. So tapping, there's something that came before tapping, and before tapping was a much more intricate methodology. But I want you guys to know that each of the tapping points connects to a meridian, which connects to organs, which connects to particular emotions. So the reason we just tap all the way through is because we're just tackling it all. But we can tap even more targeted. And so if you know, for example, your cheeks are very grounding. If you need a ground, tap right here. Right here. This is going to ground you. You want to balance your central nervous system, the side of your hand. You're feeling a lot of anxiety under the eyes. You're feeling shame or powerless right here. So you are intuitive beings, and you will be guided intuitively to these tapping points based off of what you need. And if you are moving through your body and you find a crunchy spot, or if you start tapping on a place and you're like, ooh, that's kind of painful actually, then keep going, keep tapping there, because it's stuck energy that you're moving. You're tapping and you're coming against resistance. So for me, I get a lot of pressure in here. And so it helps for me to tap right around here often. And then by the time I'm done, it's completely gone. And I feel so yummy. I'm like floating. I'm like, okay, I don't care what happens. Everything is perfect. And you just feel so good. You're just in this blissed out state. Tapping for 10, 15 minutes will bliss you out. 5 minutes will regulate your nervous system and you'll feel so relaxed. 15 minutes will bliss you out. So just singing the praises of tapping, you guys. Gentle. Yeah. No, let's go through gentle. Let's go through this because we got the slides up and it's easier and bouncing around. So let's do that now. For the embodiment ritual challenge, I'm going to explain it to you and then I'm going to lead you through something. So today's practice is an intuitive wisdom practice. You're going to clear your energy and you're going to clear your space. And you're going to create your own boundaries because you want to make sure that you're getting accurate information unimpeded by any other energy or entity. You want to stand with your feet flat on the ground. And you want to close your eyes and you want to take a deep breath and you're going to call in God and you're going to become fully present in your heart and you're going to set the intention to receive clear guidance. And I'm going to guide you guys through this so everyone here on the call can experience it firsthand. But if you are at home and you're not going through this, or if you're just seeing this, they're going to have to do it on their own. So we're going to do this, the repeat yes, no. And then step 3, you're going to practice with a list of yes or no questions. I have a list that I'm going to share in the email, and I'm going to drop it in the chat, the Facebook group. And it's a very simple list of yes or no questions. Like, is my energy aligned right now? Do I need better boundaries right now? Those types of questions that can be really helpful. But then we go further into questions like, am I aligned with my purpose? Do I fully trust my intuition? So, and you're going to be practicing your yes and your no. And then the invitation is to share, of course, in the Facebook group. If this is new for you, I'm really excited to hear what you experience. If this is not new for you, then I'm excited for you to get even more clear on what your yes and no feels like in your body, because you're always being guided moment by moment. So the more that we can access our internal yes or no in the now moment, the more easy it is to just be guided effortlessly through life. You'll come up to a decision like, do I take a left or a right on your walk? And you'll feel the guidance. It says, go to the right. I wish she was here. I have my past client from last year, Annie, part of the New Earth Ascension Academy. She said she would make it like a game, and she goes on walks every morning, and she would let her body guide her in which direction she was supposed to go. And she said that there was moments of magic where she always is walking by herself, but then the guidance told her to go a new direction. And she came across one of her good friends on the trail, So it's like those types of little fun, exciting things where when we trust our guidance and really easeful, fun, playful stuff, it gets easier to trust it in the bigger things. And we have to create new evidence. The more that you do, the more that you take action, the more that you trust, the more evidence you create, and the more easy it is for you to continue trusting. So it's this beautiful cycle. I receive the guidance, I take action, I trust, I take action, and then I create new evidence to keep trusting. Let's move into a quick little alchemy practice. If you guys are ready, for those of you who are still here with us, we're going to do about a 10-minute little alchemy practice, maybe a little bit more than that before we wrap up. There's a lot today. We had some extra notes with the tapping plus the program. I did see some questions. The question was around, amazing. Christoph said his therapy sessions are only $20. That's amazing. And I'm curious, does your therapist use somatic therapies, or is it just talk therapy? That's a really great price, though. I'm glad to hear that. I have friends that want to see therapists, and it's too expensive for them. So if you feel pain, it's because there's stuck energy. And so you want to tap it out. There's it also might be physical. It also might be, how sometimes we have, you've got lymph drainage and stuff. And so if you don't give yourself a scalp massage, I give myself scalp massages to help move that energy physically and energetically down. So if you feel pain, then either tap softer if you're tapping hard, but also just keep tapping in that really small little spot. Charlotte, the Spotify playlist was already shared. I'll ask Alondra to share it again, and it's also gone out in the email, and it's also in the replay portal as well. Yeah, ask about somatic work. Ask I'm curious to see what they have to say. If it's a talk therapist that only likes traditional forms of psychology and therapy, it might be interesting to see what they have to say. All right, guys, let's do this. Gonna put on some music. I invite you to put down whatever you might be working on if you are in a place and space to do so. Alondra, you sent that directly to me. If you could send that to the group, that would be great. Love. And yeah, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's make sure we've got the music being shared with you guys. Okay. All right, beloveds, I invite you all to just gently close down your eyes. Bringing your attention, your awareness into your heart space. I invite you now to say, oh, no, hold on. We're going to call in God, Source, Creator, just to wrap you in a bubble of love and peace and just safety, so that you can feel safe to really feel what is there for you around doubt, anxiety, worry, fear. So I invite you guys to say out loud, I am all-knowing. I am all-knowing. And as you say that, do you feel any resistance? Do you feel any part of you that says, nope, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know. I can't trust myself. And just allowing that part of you to reveal itself, allowing that resistance to be witnessed. Do you feel tightness when you say that? You can say it again. I am all-knowing. Do you feel any part of you? Is it in your chest? Is it in your stomach? Perhaps even your head or third eye, where you feel it close, or you feel like a knot, whatever you feel. We're going to tap into that resistance, and we're going to ask it if it has anything to say. Maybe you get a sense of even what part of you it is. Maybe it's your inner child. Maybe it's your inner feminine, inner saboteur, inner critic. Maybe it's just your nervous system. Your nervous system's like, nope. Just ask it if it has anything to say to you. Just listen. Not trying to change it. Just feeling that resistance. And I'm going to bring in some emotions, and I want you to see and feel where those are in your body. Doubt. Self-doubt. Doubting the universe. Doubting your intuition, not trusting yourself, not trusting in God, not trusting in the divine, worry, anxiety, worrying about the future, worrying about what's to come, feeling stressed out, perhaps overwhelmed. Is there fear? Fear that you'll never fulfill your purpose. Fear that you're going to be stuck and stagnant for the next years. Fear that the next step is going to present itself and you're going to miss it. I invite you to go ahead and now start tapping on the chest, tapping on the side of the hand, tapping on the head, tapping on the face, tapping anywhere where you are intuitively guided. And you're just going to signal to your nervous system and signal to this resistance that you are safe. You're so safe. Tapping, I am safe. I am safe. We're going to tap into some limiting beliefs that perhaps that resistance might be speaking to you. And just noticing if any of them feel more intense or triggering or real than the others. I am not worthy. I'm not worthy of divine wisdom. I'm not just worthy to know everything. I'm not smart enough. I'm not intuitive enough. I am disconnected. I'm disconnected from my intuition. I'm disconnected from divine wisdom. I can't trust myself. I can't trust my intuition. I can't trust my guidance. It steered me wrong before, and it's just going to do it again. I'm scared. I'm so scared of listening to my intuition. What if it's wrong? What if I make the wrong choice? What if I get hurt? What if I fail? I'm just imagining things. I'm just making this up. Is there any part of you that believes that you're just making this up? That when you receive your divine guidance, you're like, oh no, that's not me. That's my ego. That's not divine. That's my human. What about, I'm not as intuitive as others. Others are more intuitive than me. They're more guided than I am. Their third eye is open and mine's not. Is there any part of you that believes that you are disconnected in some way, that others are better than you or more intuitive than you? I'm not meant to know the truth. I'm not supposed to. What about, I can't trust? I can't trust myself. I can't trust God. I can't trust the divine. I can't trust others. Just tapping, moving. Maybe you want to move in circles. Maybe you want to breathe. When I tap, I'm moving, I'm breathing. Just moving that energy. Is there anything else that your resistance wants to say to you? Is there anything else that you're sensing? Just witness it in love and say, yes, I hear you. Man, I hear you. It's scary. It's so scary to feel like you don't know. Not knowing is scary. It's hard to trust. It really is. It's hard to trust others. It's hard to trust yourself because you've built up all of this evidence. You've been told that you can't trust your intuition. You've been told that you are not in control. You've been told that you've got to figure it all out. But that's not true. It's simply not true. There's nothing that you have to figure out. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to plan it all. You don't have to know the entire path to get to the destination. You just have to know and take and trust in that next step. What if? What would it feel like to receive and to step into divine clarity? What would it feel like to have all of your doubt dissolve and just know? Just know that exactly where you are is perfect, and every step you take is also perfect. That you can never be lost on your path. What if you could fully and completely believe that you are an infinite channel of divine wisdom? What would that be like? What would that feel like? Let's invite that resistance to step into this possibility. And now I invite you, again, continuing to tap, we're going to say out loud these power statements to really anchor in this new truth that you are choosing. You're declaring it. These are divine decrees. You're talking to your body. You're talking to your nervous system. You're talking to your inner resistance, your inner human, and you're talking to God. And God is going to help you embody these beliefs. I am one with divine intelligence. Say these out loud. All knowledge is accessible to me. I will know what I need to know when I need to know it. I am always receiving guidance. I am always being guided by higher intelligence. I am an open channel for clarity and truth. If you're still feeling any resistance, beloveds, just keep tapping and telling yourself that you're safe. You're safe. It's okay. I am fully trusting of my intuition. I trust myself. I trust my inner knowing. I am wisdom embodied. I trust the guidance that I receive. And I easily take action. I am ready to let go of all resistance so that I can fully trust and access my intuition. I am ready to move from fear into trust. And even though I might not fully yet believe and trust, I love and accept myself fully. Even though part of me might still be holding on to doubt, I welcome that part of me fully. I love the resistance. I welcome the resistance because it shows me where I'm not yet free. The awareness of the resistance allows me to reclaim my power. I invite you to go ahead and stop tapping. With your eyes closed, take a big deep breath into your body. Just noticing the shift in your energy from when we started. Now I invite you to say out loud, I am all-knowing. I know. I know. Do you notice the shift? Does it feel more true to you? And I'm going to invite you to just give yourself a hug. Give yourself a squeeze. Giving that part of you that's still feeling a little bit of resistance, so much love and acceptance, because that part of you is okay. It's allowed here too. And simply by offering that part of you love, it's already dissolving even more. How do you feel? How do you guys feel? Does it feel a little bit safer to trust? Oh, Samita cried in this tapping session. Oh, my angel. Yeah, you've got a lot stored in there. I'm so glad. Our emotional release is the best. Tears are literally the waters healing our soul, washing away. Went from a 10 to 11. Magical. Lots of coughing. Yes, Tammy, that's common too. Coughing. Alondra and I were doing this the other day, and she was releasing all sorts of ways. And so, yeah, release, coughing, sneezing, any ways in which we release, crying. Guess what? You guys signaled to your nervous system that it was safe, and you were allowing that energy as you tapped into it. You're targeted. And then it's like, okay, clear, clear. Amazing. Amazing. Love and supported. Lots of yawning. Yep. 5-ish. Steve. Awesome. Okay. 5-ish. Y'all. I promise you, with repetition of these practices, you'll go from a 3 to a 5, from a 5 to a 7, from a 7 to a 9. And maybe there might be a moment where your baseline dips back down and you're like, I'm a 7, and you stay to 7 all the time. And then there's one day where something hard happens and you come to a 3. And then you remind yourself and you do the alchemy, and then your baseline's back at an 8 now this time. And then you're stuck at an 8 because you did that work, because that day that it brought you to a 3. So the world is always mirroring back to us. And now that you guys are focused on this stuff, it's quite likely that more stuff will be mirrored back to you in your relationships, in your life. And if you feel triggered, if you're feeling the smallness, if you're feeling the I don't know, the uncertainty swirling around in your body and the self-doubt, and you feel yourself going back into that place, you're like, oh, okay, this is where I'm still in separation. Thank you. And then you tap, like, okay, awesome, beautiful. This is coming up to be cleared. Because what I know to be true is that it comes up to be cleared. Everything that you've just experienced was a release, an integration. It's not, it comes up, it surfaces, and then you let it go. Comes up, it surfaces, and you let it go. So we're gently extracting all of the unfelt trauma the unfelt emotions that we've experienced in this life and our ancestors experienced, that got passed down genetically and that we experienced in other lifetimes. And we're slowly, and then we're filling back up with what's true, filling back up with what's true, embodying more of our soul light. And that is the alchemy. We'll do a lot more practices in the soul alchemy program, a lot more. But that's what we've got for today. Yesterday, I was really upset and still felt sad afterwards. Today, I'm feeling the shift. Amazing, Sarah. I'm so glad to hear that. There's a lot of energies that we're all navigating. We're in the eclipse portal. We are entering into an Andromedan alignment and activation next week. There's a lot that's coming up for all of us. And so these tools are meant to aid and assist and support you out of this container as well. Ooh, Paul, I like that. That's great awareness. Paul says that the others are more intuitive, came up for him. So there's an invitation from here, darlings. Teresa, feeling much more open and easeful. Awesome. There's an invitation from here. Journal. What came up for you? What was a little more intense than the others? What did your resistance have to say? All of that is a gift. That awareness is a gift. And now you also have the tools to support you. A lot lighter, more liberated, from a 10 to a 5-6 and back to an 8. Man, do I love hearing that though. She says the unconscious layers come to play. Yes. Yes. Because, whoa, bypassing, right? Like when we know the truth of who we be, it's really easy. And I think we may have talked about this ourselves yesterday. It's really easy to be like, oh no, everything's happening for a reason. Everything is perfect. Everything is perfection. And then we bypass the fact that, yeah, actually, I'm really angry about this thing. Like that didn't feel good. The way they treated me didn't feel good. I get that it happened for a reason, but also I'm mad, I'm upset, I'm hurt, I'm sad. So the beauty is, and what I love about this practice is most of us, especially day one, most of us might have been doing this work. And we're like, yeah, I feel really good knowing that I'm one with God. I feel really good knowing that I'm intuitive. But then we start to get in there. And all of a sudden we're like, oh, that's there. Okay. But we don't always get quiet enough or make the space to listen with that level of intentionality. So that's what we're doing in the soul alchemy container, is we're making the space and intentionally doing the work to uncover those really hidden, deeply buried subconscious layers. So some people, it might be a mass cleaning that we undergo during soul alchemy or during this time here. And some people, it might be a refinement of your energy, a refinement of those limitations that are really been buried deep in there to really support and you coming fully online in your highest expression of being. Oh, I love you. Just being in your presence makes it a 10 as per usual. I so appreciate that. Eleanor, it's a pleasure. Tapping surprises me every time, right? It's such an underrated practice. And I think we all remember, a lot of us know about it, but then it's not one that we gravitate towards. Erin, it's my pleasure, darling. It's my pleasure. Sharing yourself. Yeah, that's built in the nervous system as well. The safety of our nervous system, which we talk a lot. We have a whole module in the soul alchemy where we go into really deep detail around the nervous system, around polyvagal theory, understanding how trauma gets stored in the nervous system, gets stored in our body. And then, so really understanding the science behind it, because I think it's important. Really important for our brain to understand the why and the mechanics. And when we understand how things work, we don't have to rely on faith and trust, right? Isn't that great? even though it's nice to trust. You could trust that EFT works, but when we hear how it works, why it works, the studies around it working, and then we experience it in ourselves and we're like, oh man, this works, then we believe it. And then we don't have to trust in it working. We have empirical evidence outside of ourselves, and then we have evidence through our own experience. So we're building up that resistance. We're building up our nervous system's resistance, resilience. Amazing. I don't do tapping certifications. And honestly, I looked into getting my own certification and Spirit said not necessary. It's really not necessary. All of the certifications that I found around, all of the certifications that I found for EFT tapping were just taking tapping and integrating it with the other work that I'd already learned, like reparenting our inner child, stuff like that. So yeah, it doesn't, there are some great certifications out there. There are, and I'm happy to, if anybody wants to know which ones I've found that I think are good, let me know. And I'll direct you to a few different places. But the World Tapping Summit and Nick Ortner and their body of work is really great. How I first learned, probably like 6 years ago. And then if you've ever read the book Mind to Matter by Dawson Church, he talks quite a bit about tapping in there as well. So, beloveds, I don't know if I missed any questions around the program. Please direct message me. I'm going to talk more about it and get to answer all of your questions. Or if you are still here on the call, let me know. We're going to open up the circle. I would love to hear from you guys. If there's anybody that wants to share anything that came up for them, if they want to share around the experience that they had, if they have any questions that, thank you, Alondra. Yeah, you can share and connect there. And you can also, again, message me directly on Facebook or you can unmute here. And thank you, Lita. Thank you so much. This practice is a lot longer of a practice that's why I'm trying to give you guys tastes of what this can feel like, be like for you. And then in the Soul Alchemy Accelerator, we're going to have 2 hours every week of just doing the work. And then, so there'll be 4 calls a week, 2 hours of just the work, 2 hours of learning about the work, learning about the why, the mechanics, the science, and the information, which I just love sharing. And then we're going to go into, again, the prayer, power of 8 circles is really what it is. If the word prayer is triggering to you, then I invite you to think about it as a power of 8 intention circle. Lynn McTaggart has done just incredible work on group intention and group energy fields coming together with a common intention and directing energy with intention and focus, and how it can create massive and radical miracles, literal miracles in people's lives. And it is such a really deeply healing experience to get to connect with other people and to feel safe enough that you can share yourself. And that is pretty much what the prayer circles are. The dates and times of the calls. So yes, I'm going to add another section to the webpage, and I'm going to include all of that in there. The calls are going to be, let me see if I can't pull that up. Actually, I don't have it up right now. They're going to be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Different time zones again. So the prayer circles, we'll have one prayer circle in the morning, and then we'll have one prayer circle in the evening. So that way we can, and if you don't and can't come to all 4 calls every week, there'll be replays. There'll be a beautiful replay portal. You'll have lifetime access to all of the modules, all of the calls and recordings, all of the healing sessions as well. But the prayer circles are an opportunity to come and share yourself, share what you're going through, share what you're navigating, be seen, be heard, be witnessed. And then we're all going to hold intentional prayer for each other and send energy to each other, supporting each other. So each person is going to get to share of themselves and what they're going through. And so we're going to just hold this beautiful field of witnessing each other and supporting each other and setting forth a prayerful intention for the most benevolent outcome, which you guys are going to meet Tom more in that prayer method. And so thank you, Emily. I'm so glad you were here. Such a pleasure to see you, to be with you. I invite you guys to join us again this afternoon. This afternoon, we have two incredible speakers. We're going to be meeting with Angel Robinson and Jonathan Carroll. Angel is an event producer here in the Austin area. She's a visionary dedicated to creating transformational experiences. She created a conscious event company called R3Z, and she produces the most incredible immersive gatherings, including this gathering called Solar Punk Summit. And so she'll be with us this afternoon. And then after her is Jonathan Carroll. Jonathan Carroll is the visionary founder of the Dragonfly Club, which is a revolutionary community designed to help conscious leaders align with their highest purpose, passion, and full expression in both life and business. He is such the moment that I began connecting with his energy and who he be, and then also his body of work, I just saw so much of myself in him. We have a very similar soul fractal. Both of us work directly with Archangel Michael as well. So he's a true soul brother for me. And it's such an honor and pleasure to have him here. He's a transformation coach and spiritual guide and mentor. And he works with business. So he's integrating, your business with deep spiritual wisdom. So he's got masterminds, retreats, leadership summits, just again, another creator of transformational experiences. And he deeply leads with purpose and authenticity. And he's a pretty amazing, beautiful being. So Angel Robinson and Jonathan Carroll back here this afternoon. Danielle says, thank you, Lacey. Every day with you is getting better for me, making me stronger. Plus, some of your words remind me of the course I did. That was 3 days and 12 hours, but she had her first big breakthrough there, letting go of trauma. And so amazing. Oh, Angel, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you're feeling more like yourself again, that you're feeling that some of the cloudiness of life is dissipating so that you can embody the sparkly, light-filled, love-filled being that you really are. Thank you so much for being here, darling. Genuinely. Thank you so much for being here. Such a pleasure. Charlotte asked me, when you do the tapping for resistance and then for the intention, how does the body know the difference? And you're not in putting the negative in. It does. It just does. Because when you're tapping into the resistance, you're allowing it to feel and you're inviting it up to reveal itself. And then when you're tapping in, and you can often say things like I've said, like, even though I don't fully trust myself, in this moment, I love and accept myself anyway. And I'm willing to expand into my greater knowing. Oh, you got your hands up. Yeah, go ahead.
It was just what you're answering exactly what I wanted to know.
Awesome. Beautiful.
So, because I didn't do the even though, I just don't want to go back to the story.
Yeah. That's why I'm not having you guys repeat that part out loud.
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
I missed that part.
Yeah, that's okay. Totally fine. The part where I'm bringing up all of those limitations is more for you to feel, is this real for me? Is that something that I'm embodying? Do I feel, is that resistance in my body? So it's more of like a feeling into what's real for you. And then when you repeat the affirmations afterwards, you're filling back up. So the first, it's like that clearing, 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 and then the filling back up with what is true. And so, yeah, I would recommend maybe not saying the affirmations tomorrow and seeing if you feel and notice a difference. But I do believe that the body intuitively knows, and your higher self and God, the divine, is all working in conjunction with you. I don't believe that we could do this practice wrong. The way that I do this practice is I'll get on the phone with one of my best friends, Chelsea, and her and I will sit there and just talk all the shit that we want to talk. Like, if I mean that, like, we're like, I'm pissed, I'm angry. Like, that person just said that thing to me, and we'll just sit there and vent to each other while we're tapping. And it doesn't mean that we're tapping in the anger into our body. It means that because what I love about this practice is that it's not about bypassing. We're not here to bypass what we're really feeling. We're here to welcome and go into the pain, the resistance, the frustration, the anger, all of those things that we feel. And so it's about allowing and being real with the human experience. So that's what I love. Tapping. You can tap while you're venting to your friend, I do it if you don't have friends around, I do it to the divine. I'm like, all right, divine, all right, angels, divine team, God, like, I'm mad. I'm freaking mad. Like, that was what just happened is not, and I'll unleash what I need to unleash while I'm tapping. And then I feel better. I feel safer after I get it all out, because it's this emotion. It's this charge, right? It wants to be felt. And what you resist, you push down, you suppress, you repress, it gets stored in the body, and it persists, and and then it creates patterns, it creates until it gets cleared. And so that's probably, like, tapping can be used, and it can be used in any way in which your imagination can imagine using it. And so, yeah, just talking with a friend as you're venting and frustrated. And then after you're done, then you can say, okay, what's true? What do I know to be true about me? What do I know to be true about the situation? And if I can be honest, this is pretty much exactly what I just did downstairs before this call. I shared all the frustration, shared what was coming up for me. And then I felt better almost immediately. I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's all I needed to do. I just needed to get it out. I just needed to share it. It just needed to be expressed. And then, yeah.
What if, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
What if your friend is sharing their crap? If you know what I mean? If someone they're not dumping, they're just trying to get it out. If I'm tapping, will that help it not go into me?
It will also help them. Actually, you're actually going to help. You're tapping because of the mirror neurons. You're tapping while she's doing that is actually going to help her too. It's actually going to help her process what she's processing. So tapping will actually benefit not only you, but it'll benefit her. And it's not that it's going to, it's not that you're blocking yourself from what she's saying, because the reality is whatever she's saying wouldn't bother you if it didn't exist within you.
It's a mirror. Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. So if she was complaining about, her partner, and you have a partner that's, or a child or something, right? Whatever she's complaining, if it's something that also annoys you or frustrates you or angers you, and you're getting worked up with her, it's because she's tapping into the unfelt emotion inside of your own body. So yeah, when I have friends that vent, I'll tap with them because they start to trigger me, which is okay. I don't think trigger is a bad thing. They're bringing up within me the stuff that, again, needs to be cleared. So yeah, and I would also say it's important to also have boundaries with our friends, our family, and our loved ones around what we're willing to accept too. So if if your friend calls and just starts dumping on you, and you're like, I don't want this right now, you can politely say, hey, I'm not energetically prepared or in a space to receive what's going on in your life right now. I love you so much, but if it's okay, I would like can we talk tomorrow? Can we talk this afternoon? And then you can give yourself, or if you're going through your own stuff, right? we don't want to give. And if you don't have overflow to help another, you don't want to give them what you do have. Right. So if you're in a place of navigating your own turmoil and your own, frustration and pain, sometimes it can be very healing to connect with a friend and vent together and then build each other up. But if your friend isn't one that builds you up afterwards, then it might be better to protect your energy. It might be better to say, I love you so much, but I'm not available for that right now. I'm going through my own stuff. Thank you. And we can draw boundaries with our parents. I've done that as well. Like, I don't talk politics because it triggers me and I don't want to have those types of conversations. It's just not fun for me. And so I've drawn those lines with my family. Like, that's I'm not available for those kinds of conversations. So yeah, boundaries could be helpful.
This is really helpful. Thank you. Because I get confused if so I don't say the negative or I just say the positive.
Yeah. And that's just the reason I was doing it that way. But again, like I said, you can, like, I talk about the positive all the time. We're not about your body. So when you're just naturally, as you talk about the negative things, it triggers, it brings up the fear, the nervousness. And then the tapping is saying, I am safe. I am safe. What I like about the other way is, and you're releasing the negative charge. When you're doing the affirmations, sometimes when we do affirmations, we believe, right? Simultaneously, I'm not safe to believe that.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, so you're actually even if you don't fully believe the affirmations yet, that's okay. You're still telling your body, it's safe for me to believe that. It's safe for me to believe that. Right. So you're actually even down regulating your nervous system's response and resistance and rejection to that belief or that affirmation as well. The body is so smart. It's way smarter than we give it credit for. I call it the body deva, which is spirit, like an angel. And I talk to my body. I talk to her. I'm like, oh, honey. And I've been talking to her for years. And the more that I talk to her, the more that I love on her, the better our relationship becomes, the more I trust her and the more I trust my intuition, which is really beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I did feel sad. I felt some tears when you said I'm safe. I mean, that's the big one, especially since I just got through the fires. So yeah.
Oh, are you in the California area? Where are you?
I am. I'm in Pasadena.
Pasadena. Oh my goodness gracious.
The fire was 4 blocks from my house.
Wow. Well, I'm so glad. Is your house still standing?
My house is good. Is everybody gone? Oh,
no, I brought you I'm pinned you over here. So it's they're there. It's just
I was out for 46 days. So it's just hard to find myself again because I gave myself, anyway.
I know, I totally understand. That's a lot to navigate. That's a lot to go through, love. Yeah. I mean, my goodness, how resilient and strong you are. And
I know, I've learned a lot about my resilience and strength through this.
Absolutely. So, I can imagine. Well, I mean, sending you so many prayers for everything that you guys are navigating, for the entire state and beyond, and all of those, the people that still live there and are still anchored there. And yeah, just holding you guys in so much love as the rebuilding process starts to happen. Sure. What I know to be true is that in the face of disasters, and we come together better than ever. Like, the communities get, and it just is this beautiful environment of service and support. So yeah, thank you for being here, and just sending you so much love. And thank you for even sharing your emotion, right? The emotion is so beautiful too. It's such a beautiful part of our healing journey to get to every single one of you who experienced emotion during this practice. I mean, so beautiful to have that release.
Thanks again.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Okay.
Stephen, you're moving energy like crazy over there, you madman, you master alchemist. I see you. Let me remove that and bring you up here. What you got, friend? See if we can unmute you.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I'm integrating a lot over here.
Yeah. As soon as I brought you onto the screen, I go, woo! I could feel you. Oof.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point where I'm wanting to talk to people and like share something, but I don't know what.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just think I'm thinking of community, and I'm like hearing that I'll be able to visit people, and I was like envisioning like being in an airplane with you there, so that we could, help teach and spread that,
Yeah.
spread that light around.
Yeah.
Uh,
What did anything come up for you in the practice? Is it mental or emotional or mostly energetic?
uh, there's it's emotional. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not mostly energy. I mean, everything is energetic, but
Yeah. Well,
there's
and when I
still
say, I
some.
guess, energetic, I'm thinking more like you can feel it, but maybe you don't really know what it is.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
still a confusion there over
Yeah.
all the work I've done with like the past lives and stuff. I've kind of came up, kind of opened up a bit about it. So what I did with what I have done with Osiris and as Osiris and Thoth and or at least what I was wanted to get through, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, so what I want to reflect back to you, Osiris, Thoth, all of these incredible ascended masters, they are fractals of consciousness that we are also part of and connected to. And many lives have we worked with those fractals of consciousness or embodied particular fractals of consciousness, and they are guides, but they are also not the end all to be all. They are meant to guide us back to God. They are meant to guide us back to the divine. They are meant to guide us back to who we be as divine. They are not meant to, they're meant to be, loving guides and full support of our journey. And they all embody a particular frequency, like Yeshua, Krishna, Buddha, all incredible, beautiful divine beings, but all embodied different fractals and aspects of the divine. Thoth, I love because it's so much in the wisdom space. So yeah, there's Osiris as the Isis Osiris, the masculine, the feminine, Horus, the divine child. So yeah, there's a lot of, you can even see the fractals of across time too, which is really beautiful.
What was it? Oh, how did Odin fit in there?
What was that?
Odin, I think.
Odin. Yeah. 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 There's some really beautiful ascended masters and divine beings, and they're all fractals of God, and they all and as we are.
Yeah.
As we are. And the beautiful thing is, and what I've learned and gotten to explore in my own journey, and the important thing is to never give our power away to them, though. To remember that they're not gurus, they're masters, but so are we. We are also incredibly masterful. And so for me, it was this journey of, working with my guides, but not relying on them to do the work for me, not relying on them to necessarily even guide me. And instead going higher, even than, I work a lot with Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and Yeshua. I work a lot with Isis and Hathor. I work a lot with the interdimensional beings, like our extraterrestrial family. And I started to get so focused on all of the beings and all of the entities and all of that I almost forgot that they're all, again, fractals of the one infinite creator. And so it's fun to get to work with like the dragons and the fairies and all these beautiful, it's fun. It really is. And they all have a different energy and frequency, and they're different sparkly energies. But also, and at the same time, just this reminder to not give our power away to them, or to not place them, rather. Okay, thank you. They're saying, I saw this like pedestal, to not pedestal them above us is what they're saying, to not put them on a pedestal above us, but instead to recognize that what we admire in each one of them is what they're mirroring back inside of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for your share. Appreciate you immensely. And I'm super grateful that you're here. And I pray that, yeah, more just keeps coming through and you get to process more and grounding. What I keep hearing.
Yeah, I already did the yesterday's homework. I'm looking forward
Awesome.
to doing it right.
Awesome. You're moving a lot of energy. I can feel it intensely through my body. So my invitation after you get off this call is to go put your feet on the earth. Does that feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Put your feet on the ground. Go put your feet, literally your feet right on the earth. Yeah. It's going to help. It's going to help tremendously. It's going to help you get a little more centered because I feel there's a lot going on up and out here. And then there's this, as soon as I saw your feet hit the ground, it was like, whew. So yeah, stick your feet on the ground. I think that would be really beautiful and supportive. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. I'll see you guys back this afternoon or tomorrow if you're just hanging out in our morning sessions. Is there any? Bye, Aurora. Aurora at Murr family. How awesome is that? Murr family. Stephanie says, bye, Stephen. And B Moore says, just really appreciated your share as well. It's really beautiful when I get to see you guys and hear your voice and get to connect with you this way. Ah, beautiful, beautiful beings. It's such an honor. I'm going to have more to share about the program offering in days to come. And so we'll have some more space to answer some questions. But today it was important for me to give a little more information on the tapping. And then it just became lots of things that we wanted to talk about. So, all right. Anything else? I think that's all. All right, guys. I love you so much.